color 1, perspective 1 is survival. And people with survival perspective view the world through security and stability, prioritizing basic needs and a focus on survival. Their transference or their distraction is when they start seeing the world through want, which is the 4th color, because 1 and 4. They shift into chasing their desires and what they want, which leads to insecurity and getting stuck in their needs and their demands.
First one takes place, the survival. And it is not just about the nitty-gritty of what do I need to survive. Notice those two things go together. That's why this is one is a distraction or a transference to the other. It's I don't have what I think I need, therefore I question my survival. It's survival in all kinds of contexts. I always point this out, survival in a conversation, because that's just a great way. It's not life or death. It's just you're surviving the moment of that conversation. Do you have what you need? Very often what you need is the information, more information. So if you're a first line, this whole survival sort of resonates with the concept of fear, how fear drives intelligence. And if you live in fear, like you're actually afraid of everything all the time, then you're not living the intelligence, you're living the not self. And it's the same thing here. This whole survival it's a view to see these things are working. These things are worth investigating. These things are where humanity shall investigate as it relates to its overall cognitive and its life's trajectory survival. It's the survival of yourself in a trajectory, in a way, towards beauty and towards communion. That's where we're all moving or want to move. And that survival is our capacity to stay in that. We're not surviving if we're not moving towards this thing. And so we're going to see that and investigate that and make adjustments and do what all first lines do, which is what all first colors are about. Some way, shape, or form. They are all, there's a continuity, and they're all going to have this incredible similarity. You'll see they become a cocktail of about the same thing. And then there's this cool movement, which I think is going to show up on the screen in a second, that shows how we move and where this movement takes us to.
So basically color 1, survival, it relates with fear. And so it's like seeing the world through this lens of survival. If this is a left arrow, then this person is in the trajectory of becoming a communalist and focusing on collective security and thriving in group-oriented structures. Or if it's a right arrow, then it's separatist, which prioritizes personal security, thriving in independent safe spaces.
Right. So the separatist will never be fully separate because we need each other. We need the auras of others. If you keep yourself out of the aura of all other of mankind, you're in trouble usually. So we need it once in a while. We need it a lot. What I was mentioning before about this movement. So if you have a right arrow and you look at separatist and you're 30 years old and you wonder why you're not really a separatist, it's because your life journey starts off communalist and starts to move towards, I know what community is, I can now separate, but never by more than necessarily an arm's length, meaning you can come back. To be a healthy separatist is to still go back for dinner, Thanksgiving, and or plenty of things, is still to go back into the community. If you harvest time and you want to help everyone, you show up, or planting time or whatever, you're not without the people. You're just more independent. You are moving towards more rightness independence rather than leftness strategery, which is communalist in nature. Leftness knows, we all got to get together. That's how we survived in the first place. So the survival is community. And in the beginning, when we were first in our, Homo sapien version of ourselves before 1781, we were all left. We only had the first 3 tones. Every arrow was left. So they were only communalists. And I imagine they were getting sick of that by the end. So there was lots of separation as we approached 1781. People were striking out across the whole world to separate. If you think about it, the years leading up to 1781, we were building boats. We were risking everything, crossing. Oh, dude, they crossed the Atlantic Ocean without knowing. There's no GPS. They didn't know what was there. And many of them knew that there might be serpents and they might fall off the edge, type thing. And they went anyways. Their need to separate grew as we became closer and closer to 1781. And now It's just in our single life, we get to live out both. That movement is glorious. You move, you start opposite of what the arrow says, and you move towards what the arrow says as you move through your midlife process. So
Awesome.
see it. If you find yourself with a left facing arrow and you're strictly communalist and you're constantly annoyed because people aren't doing what you want or something, or it's just not working, and you're always having hard grind and stuff because you're strictly only rolling up your sleeves as communalist, you need to separate. And if you're, between 40 and 50 or moving towards 50 especially, you'll start to see, oh, I'm moving towards communalist. I was supposed to start a little bit separatist, prioritizing your personal sort of security and space first, which is a strategic thing to do in our new combination of rightness and leftness. Separatist, knowing your separatist nature is actually a strategic thing to do so you can serve the community as you get more intelligent, and your strategy is there to serve us anyways. We need that strategic nature. We started out communalists, always be together, let's get together, forget the and now it's like, well, let's get together, at least, maybe 50 yards between us.
Let's stand a few feet away.
My house is over there a little bit, I close the door at night, tend to, and I'm separate now. But I'll be there in the morning. That's the thing, because we still live out our design. This doesn't preclude us. We still have out design. So we'll still be there in the morning if that's the deal. We're still part of the community because all the 3740s, right? We're still sharing our stuff because we're all excited and we found something to share. And we're still being empowered and being unique because we can't help it. And we want to empower the other, right? So all those things are there. You are not separate from mankind. You're just separatist in your sort of nature, more so than not.
Fantastic. All right, you ready for a question from Leah of Greg and Leah?
Oh, yes. Thank you, Leah. Thank you, Leah.
So it's got a couple things. So let me just read through a couple. So Evolve with Greg and Leah. So this is me, Leah, and I'm regularly getting stuck in the wanting because I do feel I won't get what I need to survive. And ironically, Greg is want with the distraction of survival. So basically they have opposite perspectives, which is pretty cute. And then she continues, how do we not, line one, fall into fear?
So the thing is, it's interesting to notice you guys love each other so much that you're willing to keep dragging the other into the thing that they're not and let them survive that. So when our aura drags the other into the thing, and the other aura drags the other into the thing. So his want is conditioning you to be pulled towards want, and your survival is conditioning him to be pulled towards survival. So really the trick to it all is to laugh your asses off at it, come up with words for it like Moni did with zippity doo dah freaking almost husband over there, Ika, right? Who doesn't know anything hardly half the time except his own little specific thing. He's a 2-5. You came up with some cool words, didn't you? Remember, you came up, what was that word? Hypothesis. Because he has that channel of an organizational being, which can sound a little stuck up and pushy because it's its opinion.
Yeah, because he's got the 4323, and then he has the 17 without the 62. So his hypotheses come out as I know. And I'm like, you don't know shit.
Right,
so it's uses that hypothesis. You could be clever with the words and you can have more fun with it.
Right. And so she came up with, and Ika started saying, well, I hypothesize it this way. And suddenly that helped soften the edge and it made it easier. And by now they've had a few laughs at watching it take place.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I think there's totally a realm of human design humor where if you can start noticing these patterns, you can have the most tense situations where everything is getting edgy and uncomfortable and everyone's freaking out and no one knows why. And in the right moment, if you're just like, you didn't listen to your sacral response and everything got stupid and all the tension drops out and then we're all laughing hysterically. Because a minute ago, we were all caught up in this energetic mess and we didn't know what it was. But now that we can witness it and give it words and explain it to people, it has no power over us and it kind of drops out. So it's like going back to Greg and Leah with the survival and the want thing. It's like, try to notice it. Notice when you fall into want and when he falls into survival and fear and stuff like that. Notice it and like point it out, laugh at it. And I think you could have some play with it.
Survival is very specific. is the thing, and it's the lower part of the trigram, so it's self-concerned. You're just self-concerned with your survival. As soon as you start concerning yourself all the way out into the needs of everything, not just yours but everything else, that's a way to notice it. Oh, I said I'm my survival view is first self-concerned because it's the lower trigram, so that's a way to notice it. Doesn't mean you have no concern for the other. I'm just saying the first thing is self-concern as it relates to the first 3 lines of the trigram. So that's one way to notice it, Leah. And it's not how do you not, because you're supposed to distract, you're supposed to transfer. It's how do you see it quicker and quicker each time so you don't stay there. So you only each time you distract, as you keep noticing it, you'll find, oh, those distractions are there to give me some extra juice. It's a little extra octane into the fuel because you needed it. Sometimes I need to fill up probabilities limits. And every once in a while, when I distract into possibilities, it's like I'm filling up my probabilities cup some more. So I have some more stuff to go through because possibilities don't limit. There's 10 billion possibilities, but the probabilities are really narrowed down to the same 3. So I'm there with 3, but I need to fill up my cup with some more possibilities because maybe there's something else. It's the same thing with all. You need to fill up your cup with Leah with the needs or our certain needs. Let's fill it up a little bit. Nah, I got enough. I got enough. You'll know because you'll start being less than satisfied. You'll start being less than victorious. You'll start being less than your signature. You'll start being less than at ease with yourself. When that happens and you feel those uneasy chemistries, you have transferred. If it's regarding this subject, you have distracted and stayed there as a thing you think is true rather than distracted, which is what Moni said earlier, was, distracted by, hey, I got to look at my review. What's there on a couple things? Okay, back to looking forward again. That's how to, I mean, no one stares into their rearview mirror, right? I mean, I can't remember the last time I actually had to stare into my rearview mirror, maybe once or twice just for something, but it's wicked. You can't do it. It's too risky. So that's how to see it. And that was a great analogy, the rear view mirror thing, because you
Yeah.
can't stare into it, but you got to look at it.
You gotta take a glance at your little
Got to
side,
take a
your rear
glance.
view.
Yeah,
Like, what
there,
is
look
it?
at that. Yeah.
Absolutely. Leah also wrote, it looks and often feels like a battle, but there's got to be a gift/treasure there with it having to be exact opposites. Like, that's really funny that, like, as a couple, they have their opposite.
Yeah. The trick here literally is to recognize both of you being helpless in all of that. So each time it starts to happen, you really got to take a moment to see it. And someone's got to be the first to say it out loud, or hopefully you both do it at the same time. Because as soon as there is there's a road sign. Are you battling? Road sign. You're distracted. Is there a battle going on? As soon as there is battle, like the first few seconds of it, where it's like, no, you this, no, and then hopefully one of the two of you now will, within the first 5 minutes, recognize, oh my God, we're battling. Where's the distraction? Where's the transference? We've obviously moved. So that's, you use just the very fact that you're sort of battling about something as a road sign, a signpost.
Perfect. Thank you, Leah. I feel good about color 1, survival,
Yep.
with the transference distraction of want. Ready to
Moving
mosey?
to my favorite, one of my favorites.
Oh, because it's yours.
Yeah, I like everything too. I'm wicked partial to two-ness.
Okay, that's fair.
Everything else sucks. Human design humor.